Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mr. Giomini. I had a nice email from a parent yesterday evening, which would have been Tuesday, asking to kind of give a little more explanation of how to make inferences with the stem and leaf plot. And I think it's a great question because sometimes you struggle with that. So I'm going to take last night's evening practice assignment and kind of go through it with you and then develop some inferences for you. So taking a look, it says construct a stem and leaf plot at home using data from the blog. So here's the data, scores of Browns games. Develop an inference as to how the Browns did in those 16 games and explain your inference. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to construct my stem and leaf plot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the data over here so I can better analyze it and organize it really. Smallest number would be 0. Next smallest, I have a 3, I have 2 3s. I then have a 5. I have a 7, and let me double check that there's only one 7 there. I have a 9. Yes, it's my next smallest number. Or my next largest, either way you want to go. Let's see here, I have a 10. I have a 12. I'm going to start another column up here. Notice how I'm crossing off the numbers as I go. I have a 13. I have a 14. Any 15s or 16s? No, but I do have 2 17s. Let's see, any 18s or 19s? No, I do have a 20 though. Okay, I have a 21, a 24, and a 32. So, 21, 24, and 32. Now, my data is organized from least to greatest. Now I need to put it in the stem and leaf. Now remember, stem side to the left, I always think about it as being either hundreds or tens. In this case, I don't have any hundreds, so that's okay. And then the leaf is the ones. So I have, let's see here, I have a 0, a 3, a 3, a 5, a 7, a 9. There's nothing in the tens place for those numbers. So actually there is. And I saw a lot of you do this. It is a 0. Now remember, that's just one 0. Now I list all the leaves that have a 0 in the tens place. So it is another, so it's a 0. It's a 3. That's another 3. It's a 5. Now because I'm running out of room, I'm just going to go down and create another row for the stem with 0. So I did 0, I did 3, I did 3, I did 5, I need to do 7, and I need to do 9. Okay, those are all the numbers that have a stem of 0. So a 0 in the tens place. Now I start with a 10. That would leave me with a stem of 1. Now I'm not going to put it here because that means I'd have a 17 and a 19, which I do have a 17, but not a 19. So I'll go below this row and start for a stem of 1. I have a 10, so that would be a leaf of 0. I have a 12, so that'd be a leaf with a 2. I have a 13, so that'd be a leaf with a 3. I have a 14, so that'd be a leaf with a 4. I've run out of room, so I'll just go and create another row for my stems with 1. Okay, for my leaves with a stem of 1, sorry. I have 2 17s, so I'll put both 17s. And I have exhausted all my stems with a 1. Or at least a 1 in the tens place. Now I go to a new stem, which is my 2. And I have 1, 2, 3 of those with a stem of 2. So I will put a 2 here, and now I know I'll have 3 leaves. 20, 21, and 24. Now I finally have a new stem, which is a 3, and the leaf for that is a 2. I have completed my stem and leaf plot. I did not ask you to find the measures of central tendency. If I did, I will call it the MCT, measures of central tendency. I know we have mode. That number occurs most often in this. If I just kind of scroll down here, I have 2 3s. I have 1 5, 1 7, 1 9. I have 2 17s. So my mode would be both 3 and 17. My median, and I could do this nicely because I have my numbers already organized from least to greatest. cross out from smallest to largest and continue in that process. Uh-oh, I have 2 numbers left. Now remember, if you don't know what those numbers are, you want to find the average or the mean of these two. To find mean or average, I will take the 2 numbers, add them together. That will give me 25. I added 1 number, 2 numbers, so I will take 25 and divide it by 2. I just put a multiplication sign here. I'll put a little dot there. 2 times what gives me 2? 2 times 1. I subtract. That's a 0. I'll bring down the 5. 2 times what gives me 5? Well, 2 times 2 gives me close to 5. That'll give me 4. I have a remainder. I don't like remainders, so I'm going to put a decimal here because really that 25, and I can just add a 0. I'll drop the 0 down. 2 times what gives you 10? 2 times 5. Hey, there is my median. It is 12 and 5/10, or we could also call it 12 and a half. My mean, this will require a little bit of calculation here. I will need to add all these numbers up together. Okay, now this will require a calculator. I'm going to grab mine. I'm not going to use the one on the active studio there because sometimes it's a little touchy. So I'm going to use one. I'm just going to have one here, my availability. 0, I know 0. 3 and 3, that's 6. So I'll take 6 plus 5 and 7. That gives me 12. So 6 plus 12. Plus 10 and 12. Or I'm sorry, 10 and 9. That gives me 19. Plus, okay, 12 and 13. That gives me 25. Plus 14. Plus 17. Plus 17. Plus 20. Plus 21, plus 24, plus 32. That gives me a sum of, I'm going to erase some of this stuff over here, boys and girls. Gives me a sum of 207. Let me erase this stuff. Gives me a sum of 207. Uh-oh, I just forgot how many games did I add up. Oh wait, it says in those 16 games, so there should be 16 numbers. Let's double check. 1. And because these are the stems, these are the leaves, so these two combined make one number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I can divide this by 16. 207 divided by 16 equals 12 and 9,375 10,000ths. I want to round that to the nearest whole number. So I'll just take a look at the number in the ones place and in the tenths place. Underline the number in the ones place, circle the number of tenths. Is that 9? Tell you to round up or stay the same. It would round up, so that means, and these are approximation, it's approximation symbol. So 12 and 9 tenths is approximately 13. So my mean, I could say, is 13. So I could tell my mean and median are very close. So using this information, I now know the Browns averaged about 13 points a game. Now, some of you may not know too much about football, and that's okay. But if you think about it here, do you think that 13 points is really just about 2 touchdowns a game is going to be enough for the Browns to have a good season? So I may say, and again, looking at this data, I see there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, roughly 10 games out of the 16 where the Browns only scored 14 points or fewer. So develop an inference as to how the Browns did in those 16 games. Oh, let me use a color here. I can't do blue on blue. There you go. I believe that, or I could better yet, I would say, I infer that the Browns had a losing season based on the data I was provided. I believe this because of the 16 games, plural, in 9 of those games. Let me just double check that. What is it indeed? 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. In 9 of those games, they scored 14 or fewer points, which is not many for an NFL team. Period. So, based on this data, I'm going to infer that the Browns had a losing season based on the data I was provided. I believe this because of the 16 games, and 9 of those games they scored 14 or fewer points, which is not many for an NFL team. Let me scroll this up here. Continue. This means the Browns, at best, would be, let's see, if they lost 9 of the games out of 16, that means they, let's see, 9 minus 16 is 7, means they'd be 7 wins and 9 losses. That's at best. Okay, I hope that helps you out a little bit with inferences. Feel free to ask questions in class or email me questions. All right, take care. And again, inferences are very tough, so they're something we practice on throughout this unit and beyond. Okay, have a great day, boys and girls.